Hi, good day. Well, we continue on the last video. Well, today we're gonna do something more complicated, slightly complicated. So activate the VBA editors, alternate F11. And now I can type this here. Well, show a message, right? I can just say, if you've got no idea what you want to name your sub procedure, just simply say show something, and when the idea comes, when the more solid idea comes, you can just type whatever you want. Now I have two sub procedure in this module. If I just want to concentrate on this, now what I do is that I move to this button here, click on procedure view. Now I'm concentrate on just one of these. Now if I want to look for another, I can go to this procedure drop down list and choose the one I like. I use this a lot in my project. Now the next is that I want to do a calculation, and then from there I take the value of total pieces of pizza slice and divide by the number of participants, so that I know each person will get how much. So there you are. So range C8 dot value, and then to divide I use the slash / and followed by C10, which store the value of this. After I divide this, I can temporarily store into a cell, right, to make it easier. Now of course I can immediately type this in by having the message say each of you get, and remember now I need to join a result from this. I can use a underscore and underscore, and after I show the number of pizzas, right, I have a space here, so I use the ampersand n and pieces. So run the code. Each of you get 20 pieces. See that? So it's just that simple, right? So the original code looks like this, where we have the n and followed by another n. Okay, but if I want to make it easier to read, I would just put the underscore to bring the rest to the next line, and so to here and press n. You can see that it's the same, right? Now you have learned about variables. Now we can do that here as well. So first you declare a variables. Now once you have a variables, it makes things easier to read, right? So I got to use that and say so the number of persons, right, it's got to be a whole number, so I can use integer total pieces of pizza slice as integer. Okay, so I'm going to store a whole number with integer type, and I'm also going to store I number of participants as integer. So once I have this, I'm going to have a temporary store a value, right, which is I results as integer, okay, or I answer. So then I have this, I want to store this. Now this step is optional, but after a while you will find that this is much easier to read. So I'm storing the value of C8 into I total pieces, and I do the same for I number of participants, and that would be for C10. So now instead of having say each of you get so and so, right, I do my calculation right here first. I use the I total, very use divide by so I have my I result. Now instead of showing that calculation right here, I break it. So I say each of these, and I do need to break the following lines to the next line. So I just do this and cut it out. Here is my operations. So my formulas right here, and then this is show results after that. Okay, that could be a setting. So it's more neat when you use the variables. Prior to that is that if you keep that value into a variables, you can run the code much faster because calculation happens in the computer memories. And not only that, if you use this formula multiple times, for example, I can have another message box, right? Say they are total of and then I join that. See, I'm using that information again, so I can just call this out, right? Out of pizza slice. I'll just replace it with this. There are totals of so and so pizza slice, and I also have another message box right here. They are total, but they are participants. And finally we have the result. Therefore each of you get, and so on. So I'm not going to use this anymore, right? So I have 3 message box. I'll run the code. There are total of hundreds, and there are 5 participants, and therefore each of you get 20 pieces, right? So can we make this message box all into one, right? Certainly yes. So all you need to do is, now this is the order. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, just put it here. Now remember that I'm going to have this line into the next line, so I use ampersand and put this into the next line. So see that putting it into the next line. As that goes to here, let's go, and I don't need the message box. Now in a short while you see a problem. So show. Let's just run this code right now and command this. I run this code. There are further order and so on, and there are ways and therefore right. So what's the problem here? Yeah, there is, right. It's all connected. We want the next line fall into the next line in the message box itself. So to do that, what you do is that you add this code VBCRLF and end. And let's go the same for here. I'll run the code again. There are a total of 100 pizzas. There are 5 participants, therefore each of you get 20 pieces. And here you are, right? So that's 20 pieces. Now, Say if you want to have a result show here as well. Result. You want that 20 show here as well. So again, because you are using the variables, it's much easier to do that, right? You can use reassign that value back, right? So I have calculated the result, and then now I'll just apply that back to my range C12 dot value equals to I result. It's just that simple. And I got 20 right here. Okay, so you learn a lot in this video, right? Well, first we talk about how to joinings text and numbers together. We're all using the ampersand will do, and and then the next is that I introduce you again to variables. Now this is how you declare a variables, and then we take the value in range C8 and assign it to this variable. So now I total piece of pizza slice store the value of 100 and as well as this 20, and then we use the divide operations to get the result. And finally, we'll put it into a message box. Now, in order to have it on a different line within the message box, you need to use VBCRLF. It's a code. And finally, we use the I result again and store the value into range C12. So we have that, we store it into I result, we use it first time here, and the second time here, and you can use it multiple times, as much as you like. Okay, thank you, and I hope you learned the gist of Excel VBA. Thank you once again.